So, how would Lemmy play that, man?
How would Lemmy do it?
How would Lemmy do it? You gotta crank that thing through at least 4 Marshall full stacks.
Yeah, he'd just hammer the shit out of chords, that's what he'd do. I don't know, never seen the man with an upright. In a way, there's like, I feel like there's nothing sillier yet more emotional than that sound of flat wounds on a fretless neck. I play basses with frets on. That's what I do. 200 or 300 watt. It's like a lot higher wattage, a lot louder. But to me, it just sounds wicked.
Yeah, that was the first Fender bass amp, pretty much, wasn't it? The Bassman.
The Bassman was. You know, what's funny is like I've known of a lot more guitar players to play through Bassmans. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like I've never really gotten too much into exactly the rigs that a lot of bass players use. I mean,
yeah,
base all out of my knowledge of that off of just what people have played in bands that I've been in, you know. And like I started off with a little all solid state GK head, that same thing Jacob Johnson played in Molly McGuire's. It always sounded good, so I got it, and it was great. And then later on I got into just tube amps, you know, and it was like, oh well, this one has, you know, a tube preamp in it, so I'll have that tube sound. And somebody said, no, you need to really check out what's up with the all tube amp, you know. And
hey Don.
And the first all tube bass amp I still have it, is Trainer YBA 200, and I think of all the amps I've owned, all the bass amps I've owned, it does what I want the best. Threw in some KT88. It's good.
Sweet. Well, that's the Jaguar. It's kind of the same one that you use. Yours is in the studio right now.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the Japanese Fender Jaguar bass. They also have a Chinese one, and they have a Squier Jaguar bass. Mine's black, and actually it's got all sorts of stuff. Like this is a switch to go to the active circuitry, and I pretty quickly realized that, especially if you're going to use like any kind of fuzz effects, like a lot of the fuzz effects I like really don't like active circuitry. So I had a friend build me a little fuzz circuit, and that's Tom Dalton at fuzzhugger.com, or Fuzzhugger Effect. He built me just the circuit and sent it to me, and I had my buddy Sean Darby. I took my bass to his house. I bought some Sumerium Cobalt noiseless pickups, which are just passive pickups, and we swapped them out. Took out all the active circuitry and made controls for the fuzz pedal up here, and so, you know, whenever I'm playing live, it, you know, but when I kick in the fuzz, it just boom.
So you were saying on this one about the bridge?
Yeah, this is the standard bridge that came on this bass, and it's fine. But on mine, part of the surgery, I put a badass bridge on there.
Let's go find one.
That's what they're called. Yeah, let's look at a badass. actually come?
Yeah. There we go. There's one right there on that jazz bass.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Geddy Lee.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, the badass bass too.
Badass bass too. Yeah, that's what I want on mine eventually.
Yeah, I recommend it. Like, smoother feeling, and it's just a more heavy duty bass plate. Everything on there is
get more resonance to the body.
Yeah, it's real solid and a whole lot of contact area. You know.
So you like Geddy Lee?
Man, yeah, I like Geddy Lee. I mean, the dude can play. It's not really my style of music I listen to all the time, but you can't, like, as a bass player, watch Geddy Lee play and think he sucks at the bass.
Yeah.
It's
so
awesome.
who are your biggest influences? So you're wearing Motorhead?
I'm wearing Motorhead. I mean, Lemmy, I think that kind of shines through when anybody sees me playing. Les Claypool, not that I really do much like him. He just, when I was 11 years old, I found out that he was making those noises with a bass guitar. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I want a bass at some point, Strangely, Nicky Six from Motley Crue, who I've rarely heard him play any like fancy bass lines, but what he does is just important, it's like.
I always thought of them as an old 50s style band, just heavier hair metal 50s, like.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, they covered Jailhouse Rock,
Yeah, they kind of kept to that same dun 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 dun,
Yeah. The bass just holds it down, which is. Ah, man, there's so many things, like the advantages of playing bass, like why did I want to play bass? In a way, initially it was so I could have an easier instrument to sing over. But as time went by, I started paying more attention to the bass and the bands that I listened to, and started trying to, in recordings, have my bass audible so I could make sure I was playing it right, and sometimes I was just proud of a bass line I did or something. You realize that it really does, bass really does kind of, not every song, in fact not any song on Injustice for All, but a lot of songs, the bass guitar really just drives the whole thing. It's the boat in the water, with the Vikings in it.
So speaking of Metallica, how about the Cliff Burton?
Yeah, Cliff Burton. In fact, I've done a couple of absolute Cliff Burton rip-off bass lines. I mean, absolute genius. I still get bummed out on the day he died, and everything every year. But yeah, in fact, I've told people over and over again that Master of Puppets is the most listenable album beginning to end with the highest replay value that I've ever found. And several people will instantly agree with me, and sometimes I'll offer up another one of their own, but that perfect album, Cliff Burton's such an awesome bass player. It was anyway. I know as soon as this conversation's done, when the interview's done, I'm going to think of a billion other bass players. Tom Neiman from Laika and the Cosmonauts. The dude's crazy. Something cool about a guy who just plays with the strap over his right shoulder. Big, crazy Finnish dude. Bob Bogle from The Ventures. God rest his soul. And Mel Taylor would play the drums on his low E, and classic stuff. And there are several ways you can play guitar. There's a hybrid of picking and finger picking. There's of course finger picking. There's flat picking. There's all these things. But to me, since the bass strings are so heavy and they bounce so hard and everything, I feel like there are more ways to play a bass than there are to play a guitar.
The 4 strings aren't a limitation. It almost opens up new horizons.
Well, yeah, you kind of got to get more clever with it, you know? Like, I don't know, maybe it's an equal opportunity kind of thing, you know? Like, I don't know, I pick up a 6-string bass, I don't know what to do with it. Like, you know, I like the 4 strings. It's just got a, you know, I mean, the size of my hand, I mean, this is up on the shelf and everything, but
grab on, let's play.
Alright. Yeah, let's do something big. Big tuners help.
Yep.
Sometimes what's the biggest.
Have you ever sustained an injury from a bass?
Well, I've been shocked. Yeah, actually, just recently I was writing a song, and it's had about a week to heal up, but I just straight wore through my finger. Like, it had a hole in my finger at the end.
Was it worth it?
Oh, yeah. I got the song halfway written, you know? It's like, and it's just a bass line like this. I'm starting to mess kind of with chords, though, like, you know, that I'm usually a one note at a time kind of dude, but, you know.
So how does the process come to you?
Well, I just got to sit down with the bass and just start hitting notes. And, actually, like, I picked up a bass and plugged it into this amp and just had Motorhead on the brain, so I started doing this, how it goes, like a... And, you know, and started, you know, I was probably pissing everybody else off in the store, but just started... Yeah, like just, it sounded a lot better when I played it yesterday, but it had a lot of walks and stuff in it, like, and then I thought, oh, I'm gonna remember all of that, and, you know, gotta go digging in the brain, but, you know, I think that's something fun, and if the band doesn't like it, I'll just keep it on tap for something else, but yeah, everything is really just, you know, I play something I like by myself, and then you know, sometimes I'll play something at band practice and everyone will say, oh, that's cool, and I'll just jump in. And, I don't know, the writing process changes every time I write anything, you know. But most of the time I was messing around at home, played something I liked, brought it to the band, you know. A lot of times I'll be playing guitar and then I'll show it to the guys in the band and they're like, well, that sounds like a wicked bass line, so do that on the bass line. All right, you know.
About what percentage of y'all's songs is written predominantly on the bass to begin with?
I don't know. I mean, you know, probably about the percentage of songs that I sing, and there's been a couple that Drew sings that I started writing the music for on the bass. You know, I just try to imagine that when I'm doing my bass line, at some point that's all that somebody's gonna hear. So I try to do something interesting. I mean, even if it's just like the one I'm working on right now with, it's got like just bounces on the E over and over again forever, like you know, I mean, I've already, as I was coming up with the bass line, I was already coming up with lyrics and vocal harmonies and ideas for the guitars to fill space, and you know, and I bring it up to the guys, and of course, I mean, they all pretty much entirely everybody writes their own parts and everything. And so I just try to, you know, lay down as much of a foundation as I can, and hope that those guys have some interesting ideas for the building on top. You know, cool balconies and, you know, burglar bars, whatever. But
sweet.